What's up, guys? Subscript0 here. This is the second episode of my Dark Souls low-level naked run. I know in the last video I said it was going to be a soul level 1 run. That's not entirely true because the class I picked actually starts at soul level 6. I should have done my research ahead of time. I didn't. I'm an idiot. That's the end of it. I'm just going to call it a naked run from now on. It'll be challenging enough. I'm a little upset that I didn't figure that out right off the bat, but what are you going to do? Everyone makes mistakes and all that crap. So, going back to the run, I'm heading into the lower Undead Burg, and you may have noticed this episode is way shorter. I'd like to say it was because I blew through everything. Unfortunately, that's not true. But I'm trying to cut down the time. The last video was really long, and honestly, I don't have that much to talk about. And so, rather than trying to fill a half-hour long video with just talking about stuff that really isn't that interesting, I'd rather have a shorter, more entertaining video for you guys. So, let me know what you think of it, obviously. But I think it's way better as a shorter video, and hopefully it'll be more interesting to everyone else. Now, this next section of the game, Lower Undead Burg, is probably my least favorite section in the entire game. It's really difficult for me every time I get to it, and for some reason, I cannot for the life of me fight the dogs or the assassins. I don't know why. I think it's because the dogs have very small tells, and it's really hard to pick up on when they're actually going to attack you. They're really quick, they dodge most of your attacks, and they're really good at hitting you just when you think you're safe. So, unfortunately, I have to go through there. I have to get to the depths and get to Blighttown. However, I'm definitely not looking forward to it. Oh wait, I totally forgot. The key to get into the Lower Undead Burg is back at the parish. Yeah, I probably should have remembered that. Oh well. Now that I'm back on track, I can head down to the Lower Undead Burg. Like I said earlier, this is just the worst part of the game for me. I know a lot of people would argue that Blighttown isn't way harder. Personally, I don't think it's that bad. I think it's a really hard area, but the enemies aren't terrible to fight. At least they have big tells. The dogs here hit you without even winding up for it. Almost all their attacks can go without any build-up, and it makes it incredibly hard to fight them. And I think I'm also kind of biased because I actually like Blighttown when it comes to the atmosphere of that area. I think it's a really, really cool area, just as far as the actual feel of it goes. I think it looks cool, I think it has a cool little story. And so, I end up enjoying my time there more than I enjoy my time down here, where assassins jump out of the buildings and ambush you. And this is what I mean. When you first get to Blighttown, you can tell that you're going to have a bad time there. When you first get into Lower Undead Burg, you don't expect assassins to jump out at you. And so it's really jarring when they actually pop out of those buildings the first time. And as you can see, I'm not good at fighting these guys either. There you go. I rest my case. Skipping forward once again, trying to save time. I got my souls back and got right back into it. And one thing I actually like a lot about Dark Souls is the way you sort of learn to deal with the frustration. Rather than throwing controllers when you die, you get to a point where you just sort of accept it. And you're like, oh, I made a mistake there, I won't do that again. And some people would argue that's not fun. Personally, I enjoy it because I prefer relaxing when I screw up to getting really, really frustrated and yelling at the game, which we all know does nothing. And so during my first playthrough, I probably would have been yelling at the TV by now. Luckily, now, when I die, I sort of just let it roll off my shoulders. I don't really care anymore. You know, you expect to die when you play Dark Souls. And it translates over to other things as well. You know, you have a bad game of Dota, you just sort of let it roll off your back. And I think it's actually an important skill to learn when it comes to games like this, because you know they're going to be challenging, you know they're going to be really hard. And if you get frustrated with every little mistake that you make, you're not going to enjoy playing it at all, and you're not going to get anywhere in the game. So here we're at the second ambush. An odd thing happened because one of the assassins actually spawned in the top half of his building and would not come down. I'd never seen that happen before. I knew it could, but it had never happened to me. So I was really surprised by that. I figured he just wouldn't be an issue. I found out in a few seconds, actually, he can actually throw knives at you. This was unfortunate since I was trying to deal with the two dogs at the time. There I am trying to figure out what's going on. Lured out the dogs and tried to deal with them. See, there was that throwing knife. I didn't know they could do that. That surprised me. So I was really worried about that guy, and I wanted to get him down from there, but he would not come down at all. So I just sort of had to leave him up there and avoid his throwing knives. Luckily, he doesn't cause me any problems. Finally take out the last dog, and it's time to take on the Capper Demon. Now, I was worried for this fight. We all know it's a really, really difficult fight, and everyone says, oh, just take out the dogs. Which you'd think wouldn't be that hard. For me, it is. I hate the dogs. So here I am, pumping myself up. Dodge the first hit, and things start to go horribly wrong. The dogs get me, I get stun locked. So I tried to retreat up the stairs thinking maybe I could Estus before they got to me. The answer is no, I can't. Tried one more time, and I can't attack because my club is up against the wall, and I get smashed by Capra. And here's what the next hour and a half looked like. Yeah, things were not going well for me. Luckily, I get my act together on this last Capra fight. I managed to dodge the first attack and take out one of the dogs right away. Dodge the second attack, and the second dog goes down, which means I'm free to take on the Capra mano a mano. As soon as the dogs are out of the equation, the fight gets immensely easier. Capra really isn't that hard because all of his attacks have really, really big tells. The problem comes from the fact that the dogs can pin you in a corner in the very small room that you're in, and it makes it really difficult for you to get out of there without just dying. Luckily, I took care of them right away, and things are way easier. Somehow managed to dodge an attack there, but completely eat that one. I have no idea what was going on, but I decided not to try my luck and drank an Estus Blast. And the Capra Demon goes down. So that's going to be the end of this episode. When I come back, I'll be going through the depths. Let me know what you guys think of this, if you like the shorter videos, or if I should leave them longer and not cut things out. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.